In Movies and Money, the spotlight is on Netflix. Let's bring in movie man Eric Childress for more. Hello to you, Eric.
Hi, Angie.
Well, Netflix has just struck another huge deal with one of the biggest and best filmmakers.
Indeed, Angie. Netflix has created a partnership with Steven Spielberg's production company, Amblin. Anyone who has grown up with his movies knows the logo with Elliot and E.T. that has been seen after many of his films, as well as countless other classics that he produced. And under this deal, Amblin will be producing multiple feature films exclusively for Netflix each year over an undetermined amount of time. It is possible that Spielberg himself could even be involved in directing one of these projects, but let's not get our hopes up just yet. The director is still a staunch supporter of the theatrical experience, and back in 2019 was at the center of a debate over the deepening transition of major projects finding their home on streaming services.
Eric, the overall box office numbers this past week fell for the third straight week. Is this a troubling sign that people are still hesitant about returning to theaters, or is it an issue of just having so many viewing options?
For the moment, I would point to the latter. It certainly doesn't help theatrical prospects when films are sharing time at home streaming options, but the numbers on a film like A Quiet Place Part 2 have shown that audiences will come out for the right title. $125 million and counting for the sequel that is exclusively in theaters. Could it have done more without the late pandemic hesitancy? Possibly, but that number is about as good as Paramount could have hoped for in this time. Meanwhile, a film like The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, a film with enough fans that they decided to make a sequel, opened last Wednesday and made $16.7 million in its first 5 days. Now compare that to the $26.1 million the original made in the same time frame in late August when it led the box office for 3 straight weeks in 2017. Better yet, compare the $11.3 million it made just over the weekend to the $11.5 million that In the Heights made the week before. We discussed the disappointment of this last week, but those comparable numbers warrant further scrutiny on whether or not its simultaneous premiere on HBO Max hurt its chances of being a word-of-mouth success in theaters.
This weekend, every movie is going to be challenged with the next installment of the Fast and Furious series. Here's a look.
So we're up against a master thief, assassin, high-performance driver. Who is he?
Jacob is Dom's brother.
F9, the Fast Saga, is expected to reach $100 million at the box office, Eric.
Yes, and credit where credit is due in that Godzilla vs. Kong became the first co-streaming / theatrical release to finally hit that $100 million mark this week. But it was not so long ago when that was a number of Fast and Furious film could hit in a single weekend. Furious 7 at least. Chapters 6 and 8 hit $97 and $98 million in their respective openings. Now, in no way are we going to slight F9 for not reaching that in this box office world, nor the billion-plus worldwide totals that made the last 2 non-Hobbs and Shaw entries 2 of the highest-grossing films ever. However, analysts should take note that domestically at least, the grease is starting to come off the wheels a bit. The 8th entry grossed $127 million less than its predecessor, and Hobbs and Shaw grossed $53 million less than that. So there is evidence that people are starting to get tired of this franchise. Unless this is precisely the kind of big explosive film they've been waiting to spend their money on. It does have 2 weeks of the box office to itself before Black Widow opens, albeit with a premium home streaming option. F9 will be in theaters exclusively, and I am sure theaters and Universal alike would like to see a number no less than $60 million this weekend. Anything over $50 million would give it the record during the pandemic, but this is not one they want to see barely beat A Quiet Place's number, but give the rest of the summer hope that those numbers will continue to get bigger.
Thank you for keeping us posted on all the summer blockbusters.
Thank you, Angie.
Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.